The more we play, the more we build. I can't get a loop, it's no size. Only JFM. Only multimedia. Only 25 years. Only Kosechu. Only Black Time. Only Wabaro. Only Mokomoko. Only somebody. Only Atampa. Only Boko Bako Live. If you're ready or not, give it all you got. Don't let this moment pass you by. You've got to move. I'm Gary Elsnick, bringing you blessings from Joy 99.7 FM.
99.7 FM.
It's Friday night, and as we usually do, we let our head down, easy into the music with DJ Black. But in this 1 hour, we just try to bring a little sporting discussion that will give you some smiles. And if you're in traffic, as I've seen today, it's been quite hectic, huh? Guys, George Ado here with me and Mukhtar Nabila, Charlie in front of the multimedia group. Maybe small traffic for him.
No.
I mean, lockdown is truly over.
Yes, and you know what? We're still missing our friends and our brothers and our children from who are out of school. You know, I mean, they are home. So once the school party joins us, then we are full time.
We are full time.
Even though traffic day still so small space day. As the schoolboys come to town.
The current traffic, social distancing.
Social distancing.
But this one, what I really think is that we are gradually becoming a people who are feeling that life is back to normal.
My life is back to normal.
no.
Life is back to normal.
Actually, there's still that certain group of people with fear
with today that it properly hit me.
That life is back to normal.
Today when I was going through town, I said I will forget you.
We forgot about.
What are you talking about?
But the point actually still remains that observe the various protocol.
That's the point. They will observe us.
And I don't doubt that. I mean, of course, I saw people wearing face masks. Things are not going to be the same for a long time.
Yeah, for a very long time.
I think that the initial wave of fear is gone.
It's gone.
Far away.
I think that the initial wave of fear.
And I think that one even left the very moment the president announced that when he announced that we could go out again because of the science. So science influenced every single decision. So we went out feeling normal. So at this point,
matter with political science and social science.
I don't know which of the sciences we also refer to. Every science.
Everything is a science.
Or the general science.
You don't hear the boys way. They meet the boy. I say, boy, you know they wear your mask. Charlie, take easy. This disease is still. I say, my friend. For 5,000 buckets, I don't see anybody crying yet.
But did you see that video? They brought a thermometer to the gentleman. He thought it was I don't know what he thought it was, a gun or something.
And he started crying.
But
I know the thermometer they use in front of our apparatus looks like a gun.
It looks like that.
The thermogun. Actually.
Probably that was the first time I was seeing something like that. So.
It's been an interesting week here on Joy 99.7 FM. Looking back on some of our legends and our more established names and those who have brought you joy over the past 25 years. Atikwame Nadazi's show on the Super Morning Show was amazing.
Oh yes,
it was amazing.
It was great. In fact,
Stand-up was great.
Stand-up was great. For Atikwame Nadazi, I don't know what happened when I came to the center. We're laughing for.
I heard you were.
And I didn't know what we're laughing about because Atu was expecting. was expecting I was going to say something.
You too.
And I wasn't expecting going to say something. Koji actually was wondering what was happening. Winston knew there was I don't know, it was crazy. But it was great.
It's been a good week.
Everyone was expecting someone to say something.
We kept on laughing like this.
Good laughter. Let's know what you think about topic 2. I'm going to introduce it, but I was just giving a preamble of the fact that we've had a lot of old voices passing through this week on Joy FM, and it's been great to remind ourselves of how far we have come as a station. Speaking of throwbacks and throwback in, we also inadvertently had one such throwback in at the Joy Sports, with the Joy Sports team. Hans Mensah is here. Hans.
No, you don't introduce him well. That you don't get it right in. In this age, they call him Hans Mensah.
What do you call him?
It's a mythical man.
The marvel of mythics.
So Hans Mensah, I must say that since he joined us, he has been mooting this idea for about 2 years. But we will look back at Corona and say that it is Corona that gave us the opportunity to actualize.
Those are some of the positives of Corona.
Come on, let me see your shouting.
I don't hear the perfect.
Okay,
then what we should do is what should we do?
Which one?
What will I give you?
You only give me your salary for the month.
In this era of Corona. So Hans Mensah Andor has always wanted, for about 2 years now, wanted to do what he calls the mythical matchups. Now, the mythical matchups concept is something I first saw in the Sports Illustrated magazine. It was Jonathan, there was a writer called Gary Smith, not me, but one of the greatest guys called Gary Smith. He did the one for the NFL, and then Jonathan Wilson did one for football. Now, Jonathan Wilson had a mythical matchup of, for example, the 1978 Brazil squad versus the 2002 Brazil squad, and matched them player for player, and had a debate about it, and it was hugely popular. The one for baseball and basketball, for example, LeBron James's LA Lakers team versus Michael Jordan's final Chicago Bulls team, that sort of thing. And
the matchups we are never going to get to see
in real life.
Exactly.
But we will do it. And so Hans came with a couple of them. He tried Tyson Fury versus Mike Tyson, in which I think Mike Tyson beat Tyson Fury black and blue. He beat him like he could be.
Black, blue, plus khaki.
I thought that, Fury's ring IQ meant that he was going to cost Tyson a lot.
Oh, nah. I don't want to
especially knowing that for Mike Tyson, it's a matter of just how much he can absorb in maybe 7 rounds, and then from then you probably have a very good chance of winning. A lot of people think that Mike in his prime, let's emphasize that also, Mike Tyson in his prime was
indestructible. So we have that, and I think that universally, and quite a lot of people thought that Mike Tyson was going to beat if it ever happened. Then you did another one that was pretty good as well. The first one,
2015
the 1992 Ghana's 1992 AFCON versus 2015 AFCON.
Yes. And it was interesting because Hans, tell me about it. Frimpong also called you when you did that.
Exactly.
So what Hans did was he put the first 11, or as it were, of the 1992 AFCON final team, including Abedi Pele.
Even though he didn't play in the final. So what I wanted to do was to have the best players of each team represent in the starting 11. And bear in mind that we are talking about 2 teams that both lost to Ivory Coast on penalties in the final of the Africa Cup of Nations. And I put it together, and then I got contacted by Frimpong, who was a member of that team. So apparently, my memory of the 1992 AFCON, it may be a bit hazy. I consulted, 1 or 2 senior people who, gave me an idea of what a team looked like. But apparently we got 1 or 2 of the names in there wrong. So Mansu contacted me and said, look, I was a regular in the starting line. In fact, he started all the games save for 1.
I see.
Okay, and he mentioned it. And also mentioned another person was a regular. I think he mentioned that Mohamed Gago wasn't a regular in the team. Stanley Abora, he mentioned, I was also a regular in the team that we left on the bench. But when the comparison started, I got a sense that Ghana football is retrogressing
a bit. The quality in that 92 final squad,
exactly, because a lot of people point to one thing for the 92 team. If Abedi Pele was in the squad for the final, Ghana would have won.
There's something I've heard of him.
I mean, for a lot of people who talked about it, if Abedi was in there, Ghana would have won. They don't talk so much about the 2015 squad. It appears that, you know, even in the manner in which the Black Stars lost. Remember, we threw away a 2-goal advantage in a penalty shootout to lose to Ivory Coast. People were not even bothered about it. People still talk about that 92 final, Ghana losing 10-11 to the Ivory Coast to this day, and I was surprised
as the one that hit them.
Exactly. Yeah. You know, and I was surprised that 2015 was just recent, and I felt that a lot of people could relate more to the 2015 team than the 1992 team.
Yeah.
To my surprise, you know, people were rather going back in time and throwing up names, and you know, that was a cracking team.
It was a cracking.
When I put the team together, looked at an attack of Tony Yeboah, Abedi Pele, Prince Poli. My word.
Tony Yeboah,
you know. Anyway, so it was with that background and on that backdrop that Hans came with something that gave a lot of social media traction yesterday. Ghana's EPL 11 according to us versus Nigeria's EPL 11 according to us. Now, Hans, have you pulled any of the teams on your phone yet?
Yes.
Has anybody done that? I've pulled both of them. Which one do you have?
I have that of Ghana now.
Okay, so mention the team we put together, and then we invite our listeners to help us debate. First of all, two things. Do you agree with our Ghana EPL 11, which is to say, of all the players to feature for
Ghana in the Premier League?
Yes.
I mean, that was the 11 we came up.
That's the 11 we came up. We named some subs as well, so we'll let you know. 0244340437. We match them against the Nigerian one, and then we debate and see, you know, the idea behind this is to see how far we have gone in terms of having our players at the top level of the game. So, Muftau, give us the Ghana team that we named.
For the Ghana team, we have Richard Olelekinson, who is in post. We have Jesper Slob at left back, Daniel Amate at centre back. He will be paired with John Mensah, and then we have John Pinsel at right back. And then when you go to the left side of the midfield, we have Suleiman Tari, Michael Essien, as we all saw him doing the Premier League. There's also Alex Nyako, who caused a bit of a stir on social media, and then Kelvin Prince Boateng, and then up front we have Anthony Yeboah, and then Andre Morgan Dede Ayew.
So, who do we have on the bench for Ghana?
On the substitute bench, we have Jordan Ayew, we have Asamoah Gyan, Odate Lamte, Christian Achu, Albert Adoma, and Quincy Owusu Abeye. So many people remember Quincy Owusu Abeye for 2008 African Cup of Nations.
Sure.
Especially that third and fourth game against Cote d'Ivoire when he scored that goal.
Nigeria. So for Nigeria, who did we name?
Carly Kene in post, Celestine Babayo at left back, Joseph Yobo, and Danny Shitu in centre back.
Also remembered for the 2008 AFCON.
Exactly. And then there's Victor Moses at right back, JJ Okocha, Mikel Obi, and Wilfred Ndidi in midfield, and Peter Demwinge in Wanko Kanu, and Yakubu Aigbeni in attack. For
who do
Nigeria.
they have on the bench?
On the bench, they have Obafemi Martins, Odion Igalo, Taribo West, Alex Iwobi, Daniel Amokachi, and Tai Taiwo.
So Ghana 11 versus Nigeria 11. Those who played in the Premier League. Who do you think would win? And who was for the Ghana team? Who went for the Ghana team? Muftau?
Yes, I chose the Ghana team.
So you are going to make a case for why you think
the Ghana team would win.
Then I read a lot of comments and I come to why I think the Nigeria team will win.
I was looking at the Nigerian bench and I went like, oh, this Nigerian bench. If most of them were to start, then probably we would struggle. But if we look at those who were starting, I was very convinced that with this setup and with the likes of Michael Essien, Andre Ayew, Anthony Yeboah pushing us for the Kelvin Prince Boateng, then I was very convinced that we're going to win. However, I was a bit reluctant on my prediction of a 4-0 win because I thought someone like JJ Austin Okocha was going to be a thorn on the flesh of anyone who was going to mark him. If you put him at the left side for John Pinsel, he was going to be a nemesis for him. Take him to Jeffrey Slop, and there's another problem. He would draw circles around him. play him centrally, and then Daniel Amate and then John Mensah are going to be in trouble. So with that, I decided to say that, okay, Ghana would win, but we're going to win by 3-1. Simply because of that man called
George is shaking his head already.
JJ Okocha. And also, you are looking at a Ghanaian setup that during their prime, we all saw the quality the Black Stars team had. Just imagine this was a setup that we had representing the country at the 92 African Cup of Nations or even the 2050 edition. I'm very convinced this setup has what it takes to win the African Cup of Nations.
George, are you going for the Ghana team or the Nigeria team?
I go for the Nigeria team. I go for the Nigeria team because I look at the Ghana team and I think that one, the defense, there will be too much work there for John Mensah to do.
Why John Mensah?
Yeah,
is it only John Mensah who is there?
Yeah, there's too much work for John Mensah because
John Mensah is squad with Daniel Amate, Schlupp,
and
John Pinto.
I'm saying this because JJ Okocha, now that combination of Wilfred Ndidi and Mikel Obi is getting close to the calculation we have there in terms of the defensive shield, and then again the pass, the box to box, and then the passing range.
Yeah,
those two boys can cause a lot of trouble in front there. Now look at the attack. Now take Aigbeni, but look at Kanu and Odemwingi. The pace again will be a problem for us when you're looking at our fullbacks. Yeah. So I think that in this game, you know, when you look at the Ghana team, I can see up front Tony Yeboah lethal, Asamoah lethal, but would they be giving the?
But Asamoah is on the bench.
Yeah.
So what I would like
that's the whole debate. That's the whole. Yes.
What I would like listeners to say is that we have a front two of Andre Ayew and Anthony Yeboah, and we put Jordan Ayew and Asamoah on the bench. Do you agree with us? Do you agree with us? So let's know 0244340437. It's our best Premier League 11. That is what we are naming. And we put Andre Ayew and Anthony Yeboah up front. We put Jordan Ayew and Asamoah on the bench, purely based on what these players achieved while they were in England, not their overall careers.
So in wrapping up, I think that we will concede more goals. I think we will concede more goals. Even though we may score some, I think that the Nigerian team looks a bit more balanced.
Exactly.
In every department. I'm worried for Ghana in this game.
Who did you go for?
I thought that we were going to get goals in this game. I didn't stick my neck out, really, because it's really, really difficult. But if you put a gun to my head for me to choose one, I'd go for Nigeria. I think that our best bet is to compete in the middle of the field. And yesterday, the presence of Alex Nyako raised the whole debate on its own. There were some people who was asking, who is Alex Nyako? And I realized later, you put up a post
reminding people of who
Alex Nyako was. Yesterday I went back
and for listeners, I mean, for those of you who I was a bit young then, so I saw Alex Nyako in his final 2-3 years and followed him via sports highlights and all that. But some of you knew him from his
two accounts that he played. I have memories
Kotoko days and before and all that.
I think he had a hard time at Everton, no doubt.
No doubt about that.
But it does nothing to the fact that Alex Nyako was quality.
Yeah.
That's what people forget. In the year 2000, Everton signed him for £4.5 million. Now, if you want to get to understand just how good he was, crank up the numbers. Use the exchange rate today.
Yeah.
Use inflation today.
Yeah.
Use whatever,
metrics
that you want. And then his true value will probably emerge. And, people are wondering...
What year was it again, sorry?
In the year 2000.
2000.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
For Everton to pay 4.5, and we are talking Everton in the year 2000.
Yeah.
Not a rich club.
Okay.
You understand me? For them to pay 4.5 million, how much did Manchester United sign Eric Cantona for? Yes, that was probably in the early 90s, but the gap in those years in terms of the transfer fees wasn't that much.
Okay, so I've got an inflation calculator here. £4.5 million calculated for inflation is £7.6 million today.
How many of our players are going for that?
Even now.
And you know what, guys?
Even now, calculated inflation is.
And by then, it wasn't easy for agents to move clubs around. at all costs the agent and the player wanted to move. So you were likely,
PSG and all that.
So I mean, you were even likely to accept. I mean, it wasn't the situation we have these days where an agent can force a club around and you have to. No, it was clearly it's much more.
For me, it's much more. He was a big player.
And before then, let me just give that background before you come in. He had played for Kotoko. Before Kotoko, he had played for one other club locally. I'll get it. He played for Okoro United. Okoro United. That's where people got to know him also in the local scene. Played for Kotoko, and then he went to Basel in Switzerland, which is where he actually made a huge name for himself. Then he went to Germany to Karlsruhe. Then at Lens also, he made a huge impact before Everton got him because of his performances at Lens. Now, interestingly, even though he didn't do well at Everton, he managed to play afterwards for Monaco and PSG. And this is PSG that had Ronaldinho and others. So and I thought good Alex
and I tell people that look, Chelsea signed Cristiano Chu. They signed Barbara Man. How many games have those two players played for Chelsea? Even in total. As bad as people say he was, he played 33 games for Everton.
Charlie.
He was sent on loan. He came back and still got game time.
Yeah.
And so he was good. I mean, I felt that there was a need for Alex Nyako to be there. Otherwise, the team would have looked exactly.
Yeah.
You understand me? And I imagine Alex Nyako playing alongside Michael Essien.
Yeah.
That would have been something. So, I mean, on evidence of the players in there, I think that the presence of JJ Okocha has been highlighted. Now, if you imagine Okocha delivering a pass to Nwankwo Kanu, and there's a pass
area ball or
whichever way. There's a pass, but Okocha are going to have to contend.
Knowing Okocha, you give somebody some
what he did at Frankfurt, he was able to come back.
But then again, if someone like Alex Nyako gets the ball and sends it to Anthony Yeboah, given what Tony Yeboah did in the Premier League, we can expect that we are going to get goals from the Ghanaian team as well. That's why I felt that it's a game where you are likely to see a lot of goals in there because of the presence of the quality that we are seeing in there. Again, I also felt that there are people who are asking, why Jordan Ayew on the bench? I think that in Jordan Ayew currently, as he plays in Tony Yeboah, you're looking at players of the same. You're looking at two number 9s in a 4-4-2, if you like. Now, if you put Tony Yeboah down in his prime, and you put Jordan Ayew
in his prime currently,
nobody is going to pick Jordan Ayew over Anthony Yeboah. Let's say, but before he coming to Leeds United, let's not forget he had top scored twice in the Bundesliga. So he came in with a huge reputation and delivered in the Premier League. We saw goals by Ghanaian players in the Premier League posted by the Premier League Twitter handle
today.
And if you look at the sort of goals that Tony Yeboah scored, in fact, in 20 years of the Premier League history, the top 10 goals feature Tony Yeboah's goal for Leeds United. And so, I mean, it's a no-brainer that Tony Yeboah had to be in there. The best alternative for Ghana would have been a 4-3-3 that could have accommodated Ayew, Yeboah, and either one of Asamoah Gyan or Jordan Ayew.
Putting Asamoah Gyan on the bench was a huge debate. So, George, remind us of why people still feel that despite his short stint in the Premier League, you can still match Asamoah Gyan's performances boot for boot with what Andre Ayew has done up front and Jordan Ayew has done up front.
It's one of the things people look at is the goal ratio. They're looking at the goal ratio. How many games has he played? How many goals has he scored? And there's something that we always pay attention to when we come to rating players. It's important. Sometimes you may be doing the job, but you'd have to take over the Premier League. Well, sometimes you're looking at the players who are able to take over the Premier League. Now, Asamoah Gyan was like a wind blowing, and the same thing for Anthony Yeboah. Anthony Yeboah was playing for Leeds. So Leeds was like number 10, number 8, number 10, number 8, number 9.
No, at that time Leeds had money. Leeds had money.
Yeah, they had money, but I mean, I was checking.
They were probably
on the table. Yeah, but to have that kind of buzz meant that you were doing extra. So when you look at the goal per ratio, you look at it for all, you feel that yes, Jordan has played more games, has made it. He's still getting there. And even though he's the top goal scorer of all time, clearly Anthony Yeboah, Asamoah Gyan had something. Had something, you know. And sometimes it's difficult to say. I don't like to use if when I do analysis, But then if you're doing the extension, you say, if Samoa Gyan stayed in the Premier League for long, he would have scored more goals. If Anthony Yeboah stayed, and you see, Hans, we always forget that Tony had a bad time with, I think, George Graham when he took over the Leeds team. That's why he went back to Hamburg. Aside that, he would have done well. He was really on the road playing and scoring goals. So that is why it happens this way. When we go to the statistics, Jordan has scored the most goals, but football is not only about statistics. You said what? Statistics are like what?
Miniskirts.
Miniskirts, yes.
Yeah, like miniskirts or bikinis. Yes.
You really have to.
What they hide is important, but what?
Yeah.
What
I'm not taking anything away from Jordan. He scored some special goals, and I think that Jordan is growing. You know, the kind of buzz that Anthony Yeboah and Samoa Gyan had, Jordan is getting there, and I'm sure maybe in the next 2-3 years.
So Nigeria for me.
Yeah, Nigeria for me as well, because
Ghana for me. I still insist it is Ghana because even on the psychological level, though we are rivals, you would always feel that despite the Ghanaian setup, we are always going to give it our all, and that is always going to be a plus. I remember, despite the Nigerian team being very strong, after World Cup 2006, we called them and we gave them 4.
No, but that one. But
we would still give them 4, despite the quality. They brought so many quality players. May so rest in peace. Sese Joseph Atukofio used House of Oak players to draw against them. So Ghana was always going to walk away with
this. You have to watch the problem. The problem is that Ndidi Mikelobi will make it difficult for Asian to even supply the passes. Because your route to getting those passes to Tony Yeboah and the co will be Michael Essien. He has to be free, but he'll be so busy.
You have Sheldon and there's so much dancing around.
And there's so much happening in that Nigerian midfield. So much happening with Okocha jumping here, with the winging passing there, and in Kano here. Gary, I think this one is straight one for Nigeria.
So let's get a couple of comments on WhatsApp. It's coming in, and I have loads on Twitter and Facebook. On this mythical matchups edition of the Joy Fair Stick, it's brought to you by the Joy Sports team. Now, this one from Andrew Esia George. When you're ready, let me know.
I'm ready. I'm actually ready.
Okay, read a couple of comments.
So this is coming in from Samatiko. He says that Sule Buntari played in England.
Yeah, he's in our team.
I say, yes, Sule Buntari.
Sule Buntari is in our team.
He played for Portsmouth.
He played for Portsmouth, we know that.
He's in our team.
He even played the FA Cup final.
Yes. Okay, let me do some 2 more messages quickly. Okay, I got this one. It says, Gary, you guys are too much. I would go for the Niger team any day. You added a certain Daniel Amate. Does he still exist? Yes, he does.
We are talking about Daniel Amate in his prime. I beg you.
You have checked him out. Now, the Niger setup is crazy. Kanu alone, when it comes to such magicians, again, not to mention Okocha. Asked Oliver Kahn and Alex Nyako, that supporter took his jersey and said he can play better than him. Gordon from North Carolina.
When you talk about Alex Nyako, that's what everybody
because the English media have tried to dominate the internet space to the extent that when you Google, that's the thing that happens.
But that's what happens. So just good evening, guys. Before I comment on the squad that you've mentioned, I want to put that squad which beat Nigeria by 4 goals in London. Okay, but I'm tempted to go for the Nigerian team. Ajiman Joseph, Community 9, Tema. That is your message you're sending us in. Gary, I think you head on. What have you got?
Yes. Todia Kosia blesses. But looking at the defenders on the bench, I think Baba Rahman should have replaced one of the many wingers for the Ghana bench. Maybe Quincy would go off for me to have Baba Rahman there, which is so that our bench could have been a bit balanced. Because we don't have any defenders on our bench.
Yeah,
we don't have. This one says, how did Ikeme manage to get in there when we have Vincent Inyama? Okay, Vincent Inyama did not play in the Premier League. This is for Premier League. Yeah. Foster Burma says, as for this one, dear, Ghana, we can't stand this Nigerian squad. They'll score us like cricket. Albert Unai says, why are Jan and Joe Mensah not in there? Because of your selection, Nigeria wins. And General Rooney says, although Okocha and Odemwingie will torment a lot, forcing the Ghanaian side to sit back a little, but Ghana will still come out with a slight win. Nananchi says, for me, Odemwingie comes nowhere close to Obafemi Martins as far as the Premier League is concerned, and I'll put Martins in the starting lineup and Odemwingie on the bench. Correct me if I'm wrong. Odemwingie was a beast in Italy.
He was.
Not in the Premier League. I mean, the best thing he did was in that FA Cup final against Arsenal for Birmingham.
Yeah.
When he scored that.
Even in the Premier League, he was good. He was good.
Yeah,
he was good, and
I think we remember him.
But if you look at Obafemi Martins at Newcastle United, he was a true definition of a beast.
Yeah.
And I tend to agree with him.
Well.
When you are looking like we mentioned here earlier, you don't always need to look at some of the numbers of those players. You need to look at the overall contribution of the player. There's one player, when he goes up there, he stays. But there are others, their overall contribution to a team is so much so that even coaches would prefer to start them ahead of players. You are very convinced that they've got better quality.
Yeah.
So I think that.
So Martin, let me just recap his time in England. He played 88 games for Newcastle between 2006 and 2009 and scored 28 goals. And if I remember, a lot of them were absolutely cracking goals indeed. Then he went to Birmingham City on loan. Where he didn't score too many. So that was his career in England. So you could have a shout for putting back. Odemwingie was a constant menace.
Yes, I think. Yes. So if he's trying to do the comparison of Obafemi and Odemwingie, that's close. Yes. Yeah. Obafemi could be. He also had the pace.
Now here's another one for the Nigerian team. As we throw back, Julius Ehoma says, "I beg, change Yakubu and put Ahmed Musa there." Yakubu was a legend straight up in the Premier League.
Yes, because he.
Ahmed Musa, tough. How?
For Leicester.
But how many games? But you look at Yakubu.
Played for quite a number of teams.
Yakubu was legendary for.
I remember one of his famous seasons when he used to play for. I've forgotten the name of this team, which is now going into Division 2. In the English Premier League.
Who are you talking about?
Which team is that?
No, not Middlesbrough.
Which player are you talking about?
He played for Yakubu played for so many teams. That's the thing. He played for so many teams.
But make your point. We'll find
he was a big man in the Premier League. He was a striker feared by opponents in the Premier League. And if you
he played for Portsmouth, Middlesbrough, Everton, Leicester, Blackburn.
I was looking for Blackburn. They have
scored 17 in 30 for Blackburn.
They have now 17 in 30. In 30
no, Yakubu was great.
That clearly tells you that Yakubu was
25 in 82 for Everton.
Was a great player in the Premier League.
25 in 73 for Borough. 29th in 65 for Portsmouth. 7 in 13 for Portsmouth when he was on loan.
That's a huge.
Yakubu was a big man.
These are numbers that are unquestionable, and if he starts ahead of
Ahmed Musa,
how many games did Ahmed Musa even play for? For Leicester.
I'll find out, but Charlie wasn't like that.
No, he can't make a call for Ahmed Musa to start ahead of Yakubu. No.
Yeah, Ahmed Musa may have certain qualities that
pace and all. But Yakubu was a finisher.
But
even in the Premier League, Yakubu stands tall ahead of Ahmed Musa.
Yeah, pantheon of great, he'll be there. Comments on Twitter and elsewhere. Let me. Lord Enhansomi says, let's be honest, even though Ghana's squad looks quite sharp on the attack, clearly in this Ghana EPL versus Nigeria EPL, Ghana would concede more goals, period. JJ Okocha alone would be a headache in the middle or even on the wings for Ghana as well.
Okay, so let's complete that. Ahmed Musa scored 2 goals in 21 appearances for Leicester City. So just in case anybody
Texta Mental says Olele imposed for Ghana self minus. I didn't want to go there. He considered a handful of goals for Blackpool. It was so. I remember when Olele was playing the Premier League, it was cringeworthy. It was terrible.
And I remember when I read a story about how he was occupying empty space. That was one thing you wouldn't want to come across.
Yeah. Anyway, more comments coming on WhatsApp. I have loads on Facebook in this mythical matchups, and we should be doing more. The next one we want to do involves Hearts versus Kotoko. The 2000s. Maybe next week we might do that on social media. The best 11 for Hearts in the 2000s versus Kotoko's best 11 in the 2000s. I know which team will win, but I won't say it.
No,
but I won't say it.
But I would disagree.
I know you would disagree. George, you have a comment from
Innocent?
have a comment
from Innocent. Innocent says the Nigerian team would vandalize our defense. Will vandalize our defense. That is If you have been following Ablekonana Lace, so Oboda is vandalized. Nigerian team will vandalize our defense. Okocha in his prime will be the thorn in the flesh of our defense. Innocent coming in with that message. We got one. Okay, this one says, who should be in the Ghana team? Okay, no. I think I had some 2 messages down there. I had to quickly get to that. Let me get to them quickly. Okay, so hello guys. Albert Adoma shouldn't be in the squad because he hasn't played in the Premier League. Odati Lamte should be ahead of Dede Ayew in the starting 11, really. Dede Ayew has some interesting stuff as well. What he did with Swansea and he's done so well. I don't think
also at West Ham,
when he went at West Ham as well.
Injuries didn't help him that much. But
yeah. So this coming in from Dawood, who is reaching us from Finland, Helsinki, and this one says that, guys, I am proud to be a Ghanaian, but the team you just put out there with JJ in that Niger team, we will lose.
It seems like JJ Okocha is a game changer.
No, yeah, because he was just too good at his feet, and it almost felt like he would have his way anytime he's got the ball, and he would dribble you. Now, for those of you who are still wondering, or you haven't seen JJ Okocha, please, if you have seen Ronaldinho, this is something like that. It was frightening. He can create space just anywhere on the pitch.
What do you went to Germany with start time? Did you meet Okocha?
No, I didn't meet Okocha.
I did.
You met Okocha, yes. Okocha was something else. Yeah. Clearly something else. Something else. Okay, says, hi again. Okay, you want to know where Adokwe Papo is?
Emmanuel Adokwe Papo.
I put the picture up there. I just
since that World Cup game against Italy. Have ever
So one time I asked for Papo, are you related? Yeah, I beg. Adokwe Papo. So we can do more of your messages on our WhatsApp line 0244340437. It's interesting. I'm just looking at the stats. I don't know where we're going to end with this one, especially if we're going to talk about the greatest Ghanaian striker, in the English Premier League. It's going to be a huge one.
So now that we've settled, quite a number of people seem to think that the Nigerian team will win. But we have a comment saying Christian Atsu should be
in the starting 11 because he can also cause trouble on the flanks. We kept Christian Atsu on the bench. So if at a point you think that our wingers are not doing well, you will go in for Christian Atsu. The thing is, you've got Solomon Tari, right? You've got Kevin Prince Boateng, and then you've got Michael Essien, and you've got Nyako. I think they should be able to see the 90 minutes.
They should be because the 90 minutes. And if we go to extra time, we'll bring in Asamoah and Jordan to come and
because the issue with
so we are looking at a World Cup semi-final, and then kind of probably going through. And we'll come up against Brazil in the grand finale.
You think you beat Brazil?
I want us to beat them.
Brazil best 11.
That defeat they gave to Ghana in the 2006 World Cup.
No, we were. I think
let's play Uruguay rather.
Yeah.
In the final Uruguay
2006. We didn't believe the team could do well. Then when they started doing well, we felt that we could win the World Cup. But also, you were playing against Brazil. Hey, in 2006. And we thought we could beat Brazil. I can remember the time said with the Brazil of Africa. The Brazil of Africa versus the Brazil.
Then you will hear come on Black Stars Ghana from Salafata.
No. It was absolutely very tight. So let's hear from you on our WhatsApp.
Yeah, Mr. Boache sensing this one. He says Okocha alone will mesmerize our defense. That's another word. Somebody says Okocha will vandalize. Somebody says
mesmerize.
Okocha will mesmerize our defense as well. So let's hear from you. This is a joy first take. We are throwing back in a grand way, looking at Ghana's team in the Premier League and Nigeria's team in the Premier League. But let's spend the next 15 minutes talking about, for example, this is a question I want to ask. Should Asamoah Gyan have stayed? Mustao, yesterday while we were debating this, what I personally, people said here at the time, I recall, I was on TV and radio saying that Charlie, the guy is going to get his money. Footballers, the argument we make. Footballers' careers are very, very short. They have a very short shelf life or whatever it is. And so if he's got the opportunity to earn so much, and thankfully for Asamoah Gyan, when he went to the UAE, he became a top scorer for 2 seasons or 3 seasons running or whatever. He scored by 100 goals, made a slew of records. Even this week, the Asian Champions League account on Twitter was giving him shouts for still holding records years after he's gone. Asian Champions League. And I can hear the the direction with which we are talking about Asian Champions League. George is one of those who believes that Asamoah should have stayed a season or two more.
I think so.
In England.
I think so.
Because
you see, it's not in my case. I was saying that look, it's not a situation that Asamoah was playing for or playing in a certain low division that when the opportunity came, he had to just jump onto it. Asamoah was playing for Sunderland, and I think at the time, looking at the strikers around, Asamoah was still in the top 4, top 3. Really, really hot Asamoah. It was only going to take just a few months for a bigger club to come for him. I think that the big money that he went to enjoy, he was still going to enjoy it at the end of his career anyway. I thought would have been great, and I'm saying this, guys. Remember, I'm not a Asamoah. I can't decide for Asamoah what he wants to do, but I'm saying this. If I was in Asamoah's shoes, I would have held on at Sunderland despite the money. I would hope to play for another big club in the English Premier League. Try and build on a certain brand that was growing rapidly. It was just growing. I could see Asamoah, even just his celebration becoming something else. And you know, when I went to the 2017 IAAF World Championships in London, there were so many promotions around the celebration of Usain Bolt.
Yes.
So many promotions that people were winning a lot of stuff about. Sponsors had paid. I think Asamoah's dancing would have even led to that one alone in the Premier League for some time. They still put videos about that.
Yeah,
I think that he was going to get a good club. He was going to play. He was going to get the money. And when he had gotten to the point where he had played so much and he felt like going to, or felt like retiring, the same guys who came for him at the time will come for him again, because that has been the trajectory for all the players who did well. I think he was like, the top five. Asamoah would have made it. Would have made it heavy, big time in England. And remember, Gary, you don't just go to the Premier League and hit the ground running. This man went there, hit the ground running, and everybody was talking about it when he went there. He had too much fire to have gone, where he went at that time.
Now let's remind you of what the Ghanaians did in the Premier League. I'm seeing more of your messages coming in on 0244 340437. Here on the Joy First Take.
Would you believe it? £13 million. Welcome to the Barclays Premier League for Ghanaians' finest. Certainly changed the mood inside the Liberty Stadium, which Swansea and RU will try and lift again here. And he has got away from Cantamore and scores brilliantly. What a response from Swansea City. A man down, but a goal up. And it was Andre Ayew in some style. Play on. Etienne. Entry. Only a second Chelsea goal for the Ghanaian Michael Etienne. Yeboah. On he goes! Even by his standards. Breathtakingly brilliant.
The Ghanaians in the Premier League doing us proud, and those were just a selection of the goals that they scored. I mean, Tony Yeboah alone had a highlight reel for days and days.
and even up to now, if they are counting the top 5 goals in the Premier League,
they always do.
Tony Yeboah would.
They always find it difficult to choose between the game against Wimbledon, and then the one against Liverpool.
Those goals.
You see, the problem with deciding
is
knew
how to hit the ball.
Yeah, against Liverpool, the occasion was great.
It was big.
That was Leeds against Liverpool.
Yeah.
But against Wimbledon, it was really tight. Control the chest, control the tie, and this was very quick on the chest, on the tie. Takes it, dribbles.
The ball dropped,
and he dribbled quickly and hit a shot of the volley.
Yes.
So here's a pop question for you guys. Tony Yeboah's left foot or his right foot? Which one would you prefer?
Both legs were magical.
Incredible. Choose one.
I'll go for the right.
I'll go for the left.
I'll go for the right.
Tony Yeboah's left foot was. What was it his left that he used to score that half volley against Ivory Coast in the AFCON?
Yes,
that the one Sports Allies used to show you
very often, and then but I think that right foot. Well, if you are dexterous, that's one thing.
Yeah.
I've just thought about the goals again.
He was one man who was so good when it comes to using his left or his right, whichever one you give it to him, he's going to deliver. But I'll pick the right.
So it's your best striker.
But
best of it.
I would always pick Tony Yeboah
ahead of Asamoah Gyan.
Yes, I would always pick him.
So read a couple of the comments and let's
Gary, is it about money? Check Igalo. He had to take a pay cut to join his boyhood club Manchester United, and has already become the crowd's favorite. Godwin, North Carnation. That's another point. There's something extra you get for playing in the Premier League, and that's why I think that you have to try and stay in there a bit. Sometimes you don't know how the national team career is going. Like we've seen, there were no trophies, and maybe this one says, "Hi Gary, Asamoah Gyan spell in the UAE made him the highest paid African footballer at the time." Yes, we know that. Even
when he went to China, he was the highest paid one of the highest paid players in the world.
So we know that. But you see, when Michael Essien and Asamoah Gyan are having a very interesting chat, they say, "Oh, I won the Champions League. I won it." Yeah. And then you have your cups all starting with the owl. Now this is us.
Okay, then we'll look at the
yeah. Because when you are not showing, at least you haven't won a Premier League title, you haven't won one of the titles in the major European leagues,
and then you miss the Premier League atmosphere,
the Champions League, and
the opportunity for Ghanaians to see and always scream every weekend.
It's difficult to describe.
I remember one goal he scored against Chelsea. Your Chelsea.
It's just we have Suleiman Tari, Asian Kelvin, but you think Okucha can do the havoc? Yeah, it says Asatoni could also toy up with
the Anago defense.
I agree. But you remember that they are there with that Ndidi and Obi. Now,
you think Ndidi is better than Michael Essien?
I'm not saying he's better.
No, we're not saying. No, it's a midfield.
Yes, it's a midfield.
But
he breaks play. He starts play.
You are assuming they are there.
But you see, Hans made a good point.
Yeah.
That the game changer in these lineups could be Ghana's defense. And remember, let's recall Ghana's 2006 to 2012 era. It was our midfield that made us world famous.
Yes.
We consistently had a great midfield that changed games for us, even when our attack was not great.
The quartet.
Yeah, the quartet. And we kept on having backups that were equally solid as well. Now let me take you back again to yet another compilation of goals from Ghana's finest in the Premier League.
Lampard again. Long range effort by Essien! What a goal! Magnificent strike by Essien! Never discount this Chelsea team! There's the strike! Wonderful goal! Wonderful Yeboah! And look at that for a phenomenal strike! Oh, he's still got it! And still, Ayew! Oh, what a goal for Crystal Palace! Absolutely magnificent! Does get the shot in, and what a shot! And what a goal from Suleiman Tari! Good tackle by Muntari. Terrific challenge through the legs of Knight. Oh, that's incredible! Absolutely incredible! Suleiman Tari does it again, and it's even better than his first! Ayew! Beauty! Wow, what a goal that is! That is one terrific hit from Jordan Ayew!
And that Jordan Ayew goal is the one he scored earlier this season before Corona struck. Was it Crystal Palace? Who was it against again?
Is that the chip?
Yeah, the chip goal. West Ham against West Ham.
At the right side.
Pirouetted.
Penetrated, chipped it over the goalkeeper.
Charlie, there's Crystal Palace people. I've seen it on a couple of Crystal Palace fora, and they are describing it one of the best goals ever scored at Selhurst Park.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, and Crystal Palace is one of the legacy clubs in England. One of the traditional.
Recently, a gentleman tweeted his son saying Jordan.
Jordan replied.
And Jordan was at the stadium and he saw Jordan score.
No, but they did. I mean, and
that's what George was talking about.
Yeah, because
that you see, Jordan can also take good money and go to China.
That's right.
And go to the UAE.
Yes.
But he's persevered. You know, Hans is back. Hans has been one of the biggest exponents of the fact that Samoa Gyan should have stayed in the Premier League.
Yes. And you know, I think I have to give credit where it's due. Jordan has stepped up.
Yeah.
You know, I've been one of his harshest critics, and
over the years.
Yes, I think that, you know, this season he stepped up. A lot of trust was reposed in him by Roy Hodgson, and I think that he's fully repaid that trust. It's positive to see. I don't think that we'll come here talking about a Black Star squad and I would raise any issues about Jordan being called up.
Yeah.
If you remember, I wrote a piece before the last AFCON. I mean, the numbers didn't look good.
Yeah.
You know, on paper there was no justification why Jordan had to be going to the
right now, first name on the sheet.
Absolutely. In fact, if you looked at Asamoah Gyan's numbers and said that he shouldn't go into the AFCON and looked at Jordan's numbers, then you couldn't really make a case against him. Now he stepped up. I think that where he's coming from also helps. What am I saying? I'm saying that if John Surname was probably a youth, that decision to go to the UAE at the time he did.
That's a good point. You know, I mean, it's kind of you. So
exactly,
you have time to
understand
to build your career,
sporting ambition. For John, we can say all that we want to see. And I've raised the issues about. I have a friend who tells me every time, look, a bird in hand is better than the one in the bush.
Of course.
Because John had the UAE deal in his hand.
Yeah.
All the sense in just leaving it and saying that he was going to pursue one day.
And looking at that back, Charlie, he didn't do bad for himself career-wise.
No.
Because he made a name everywhere. But
even in the first season, he scored 18 out of 22 matches.
Oh, I know. I mean, look at the numbers there.
73 goals in 65 appearances.
Let me show you this. When did Tony Awa play in the Premier League? When did he stop playing in the Premier League? Do you see how they still talk about Tony Awa today?
I mean,
they sometimes you must know where you are.
The Leeds United founder of the water too.
Yes,
and that's what I'm saying. That's just what I'm saying. That's why playing for the major European leagues, you need to be there and try and create something for yourself.
Especially for
you always need to be. Even the little, if you look at the little he did
in the last few weeks, I've been thinking about Jordan, you know, writing a piece on Asamoah Gyan, and the title that keeps coming to mind is that Gyan has a conflicting legacy.
Yeah,
very difficult to talk about Gyan and really state what Gyan's legacy is.
I don't think Gyan himself would doubt you because everybody is witness to the fact that in the last 6 months on Twitter he's tweeted not less than 4 times.
So many
he's tweeting himself that Ghanaians don't appreciate what he has done. You know, and it's what you say. Now people are not clear in their mind that they know that Gyan, Charlie, he's a big man.
It's funny, you can highlight so many positives and yet you find so many negatives also to highlight.
Yeah, and he keeps saying himself.
When you write about Gyan and you leave out some of the downsides, you look like a hypocrite.
It's incomplete.
Incomplete.
So that's really difficult.
Anyway, guys,
that's why sometimes you'll take it.
Oh, look, somebody has just reminded us of something I was going to say at the end.
Okay, guys.
Kelly from Osu says, "Hi, Gary. Please remind us of your Super Show and Joy News this coming Tuesday." Well,
are you really going to say anything? It's okay. You know there's a show coming on Tuesday. We'll be telling you more.
We'll be telling you about it.
So we have a fantastic show. We have Peter Jury. We have John Champion. We have
Robert
Marawa.
That's a heavyweight line.
Can I just end the show?
Well, on Robert Marawa's note. So on Tuesday at 9 p.m. on Joy News, hopefully our management will give us the time on Joy FM as well to enjoy Prime as well, but we are confirmed that we'll be on Joy News. We'll be streaming live. We have a special program to discuss football after COVID-19, and our panelists will be Peter Drury, the commentator, John Champion, his fellow commentator, and Robert Marawa, plus of course George. If he's not on the show, he's going to kill us because obviously, I mean, he really looks up to Peter Drury and John Champion. So George will be on the show and the rest of the Joy Sports team. 9 p.m. Joy News Tuesday. Please join us. You'll be getting more promotional information on this channel and on social media. Also remember that the Multimedia Group has the right to the Bundesliga on radio. As a Pi FM will be doing Dortmund versus Schalke tomorrow, and also Joy FM will be having English commentary of selected games. So follow us on our social media handles for more information. But for now, though, that's it for now for the Joy First Take. It's 8:01 p.m., meaning that it's time for the music. I'm Gary Al Smith. Bye for now, and be good. Have a good weekend.